Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in and sit on down because today I got something toothy to talk about. I have to go and get my gums deep cleaned. Deep clean my gums. They're talking all about it. I'm an anxious mess. If you know me personally, which you don't, I'm an anxious guy when it comes to, you know, being sedated, having kind of weird kinds of shit happen to me. Not because of what the doctor's gonna do. I don't know, the feeling I get anxious. I have weird panic attacks. I don't know. I'm a big fat fucking idiot. What am I supposed to do? But today I wanted to go and I wanted to look into some of the worst dental practices. Seems kind of counterintuitive when I'm saying it now. I want to look at all the bad stuff to be like, you know what I'm going through is not going to be that bad. So it won't be that bad. It'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. And I think that'll be good. I think that'll be okay. I don't know. I wanted to start off by talking about tooth worms. Have you all heard of tooth worms? Which today we know that tooth discomfort is caused by bacteria that decays the tooth. But in 5000 BC, those motherfuckers did not know what that meant. It was believed to be caused by small worms that would burrow their way into your tooth. Which, even thinking about that now I feel like I'm going to be drugged up at the dentist office. I'm going to be like, there's worms in my teeth. Someone help me. The worms were thought to be the size of your palm and would bury themselves underneath the surface of the gums. Oh my god. Are they saying like, or like as long as this and they're just burying them? Probably like a little quarter shaped thing, just like a slug. Yeah, no, I don't like that. People believe the pain was caused by the worm wiggling around and the pain would go away once the worm stopped moving. That's crazy. Dude, the worms, they keep wiggling. I'm f***ing. He like, let me see your teeth. And he's like, these damn worms, dude, man. This was a common belief up until the 1700s.
Yeah, and then it wasn't until the early 1900s that they actually proved there's no such thing as teeth worms.
It wasn't until the early 1900s where officially dentists were like, we can pretty much say, without a doubt, there's no worms in your gums. Bold fucking claim, buddy. Good luck with that theory. One thing I think that is interesting is how exactly did they treat the worms, right? Your tooth worms. How did they get them out? Which tooth worms were such a widespread belief around the world, and there were all kinds of methods to treat them. Some of the methods to deal with the tooth worms were cut a mouse in half and place the warm dead body over the infected tooth.
Would that lure the worm out?
You like that? You see, tooth worms love a nice fresh dead mouse. As we can see here on the board, I drew the worm going to the dead mouse, so you know he likes it. Yes. You could drink a mixture of crushed up teeth and gladiator's blood. Those Roman crushed up teeth is crazy. Do you think they just did it straight? Some guy like dilutes it with wine, they're like pussy. Like chewing on the teeth and stuff like that. You could use urine mouthwash. Some places use magic to cast the demonic worm out of the gums. They're demons now. I didn't know they were demonic, but now they're also demonic, if you didn't know. During the Middle Ages, honey was one treatment attempted to cure tooth worms. The hurting tooth was coated in honey, and the aching victim waited with tweezers, in hopes of removing the sweet tooth pest. Another trick was to put an onion over the patient's mouth and the same side of the toothache. And ancient Greeks thought spitting into a frog's mouth would help soothe the pain. What a time, honestly. Like, don't get me wrong, it's awesome to live now where you have the internet and whatever. You know, you can just dull your brain. Imagine living back in the day where you're just like, spit in the frog's mouth. Right in his mouth. I feel better. Like, convincing yourself you feel better. Arsenic was also used for tooth pain and root canals, and sometimes a heated probe was used. And other ancient doctors thought that the tooth nerves was the infamous worm itself. Imagine you thinking that your exposed nerve is the worm, and they take like a tweezer and tear it. They're like, really holding on.
Today's video is sponsored by Scentbird. Scentbird is bringing you designer fragrances every month for less than $1 a day. They have a catalog of over 600 fragrances from some of the biggest names like Gucci, Prada, and Versace, as well as up-and-coming labels like DS and Durga. With some fragrances costing up to $300, it's definitely worth to try before you buy. You won't know if you like something until you've worn it around for a couple days, which makes Scentbird perfect for finding a scent that suits you. Every month you choose some fragrances you want, and they come in vials that will last the entire month. And with Scentbird, it's never been easier to smell good. So let's take a look at what I received this month. French Defense from Mind Games, Percival from Parfums de Mali, Atlantis from Blue Atlas, and the Royal Forest from English Laundry. French Defense has notes of cherry, amber, cedarwood, and rose. It's a sultry, deep, and understated fragrance. Percival has notes of lemon, pink pepper, mandarin, and lavender. It's woodsy and citrusy, and this scent has sophistication and long-lasting staying power throughout the day. Atlantis has notes of lemon and lavender, and it's a light, clean fragrance with bits of citrus that's our little little watery. Royal Forest's notes of grapefruit and apple. This is a bright, sweet fragrance, and it opens with citrus and apple, leaves notes of oak moss and amberwood. There you have it, 4 new fragrances, perfect for spring. All of these were memorable, but I'd have to say Royal Forest was my favorite. So head over to Scentbird to find your new fragrance today. Use my coupon code PapaMeat55 for 55% off at Scentbird. It's just a little over $7 for your first month, and it's available in the USA and Canada. Thank you, Scentbird, for sponsoring the video, and be sure to check out the links below. Back to the video. And now let's talk about some of the scary tools that have been used throughout dentist history. I'm not gonna lie, when I go into the dentist's office and I see the little tray of tools, my heart gets a little, it races, it flutters. Not because of the heart attack, but just it flutters. A nice little dance. Which, you know, we've come a long way with dentist stuff, you know, I mean, we have anesthetics now, we have x-rays, electric toothbrushes, toothpaste. We have Colgate, thank God we have Colgate here. Listerine. It wasn't always the case. I want to start off with a nice little primitive piece of technology called the bow drill, which the bow drill showed up around 7000 BC in the Indus Valley area of modern-day India and Pakistan. These drills, constructed with a stringed wooden bow tied to a rotating spindle, featured a flint tip that bore into the tooth. Is that someone? Does that sound like a good time? The rapid spinning of the stick produced enough energy to softly drill into teeth, eliminating decay and relieving discomfort by sliding the bow back and forth. Oh my God. Can you imagine the sounds? Imagine the sound of just like, of your actual bone. Oh God.
Well, you know how fast drills are now?
Well, it's like now, but now, then it's like
sitting there for like an hour.
Yeah, and like it would probably be rotating like instead of just whatever. Moving on. The 17th century dental forceps. In the 1600s, if you needed a tooth extraction, you had to face the torturous grip of the 17th century dental forceps. Designed with a long handle to reach deep into the back of your mouth, these forceps allowed dentists to squeeze enough pressure to crack a tooth.
Crack it?
You know, these things are pretty helpful. Oh! How do you feel? This left the patient in a lot of pain and usually came with damaged gums and bones. Really? That's weird. They look like literal, like in World of Warcraft, they look like a fucking gnome's forging tool, like a dwarf's forging tool. The literal shit that they use to like bring the One Ring out of the fire, that's what they put in your mouth. Or an oral speculum! An oral speculum is used to open the mouth for an investigation or medical purposes. To open the mouth for an investigation. What's happening here? Dentists used a screw to pry open a patient's mouth. If cracked too wide, patients would suffer from broken jaws. I like how it's just like, they just don't even know, they're like, is it uncomfortable? They're like, well, just a little more. I can't see back there. I don't like on this photo too. It's like a heart shape. It's just, that's just f***ing brutal. Looks like a goddamn Tim Burton tool or something. The 19th century secateur. The French came up with a dental instrument to wrench out entire teeth. Just right out of your gums. Just plop them right out. They're called secateur, meaning French for cutters. This device is effective in locking on a tooth to be ripped out just above the gum line. Look at that little deal. Just the poses these doctors, these dentists would have to take. Putting their fucking leg over your shoulder and being like... Also, I don't know why I thought of Sweeney Todd.
Well, did you know that barbers were dentists?
Barbers were dentists? They were called barber dentists.
Yeah.
You get a shave and they just like what? Pull a tooth?
Yeah.
When was this?
It's like the 1700s, 1600s.
So are you telling me that Sweeney Todd himself was a dentist?
Could have, yeah.
He could have been. Tongue eracture. A tongue eracture was used to remove diseased portion of the tongue caused by cancers. Are you talking about clipping up part of your tongue, Nick? Little paper hole stomp out of your tongue. A painful process. The chain was looped over the infected portion and tightened using the ratchet, stopping the circulation of blood to the area. Most people who had a tongue erasure procedure suffered a permanent speech impediment. This is a bullshit. What is a speech impediment? A speech impediment like what, Porky Piggy type deal?
Yeah, where your speech is affected.
Oh, because it's your tongue, whatever. Yeah, this is bullshit. The bad part of my tongue is gone, but honestly, I kind of wish that I had just left it in there and just died. A dental key. Dental keys were designed for tooth extraction with the claw at the end of the shaft. Claw at the end of the shaft. Dental keys could grab the diseased tooth as the instrument was rotated to loosen the tooth. Poor practices with the instrument often resulted in tooth and jaw fractures. You know there's some motherfuckers who just didn't care. Popped out, they're just like, God, get up, baby. It caused more accidents and injuries than all other extraction instruments combined. I like how they're like, this is totally how it is. They're literally talking about like it's a fucking
fucking crowbar for your tooth, is what it is. I'm like, eh, that's fine, that's what it is. Have you seen, like, actually how long a tooth that goes into your gums? It's fucking insane. Imagine actually putting it in your mouth, you open it, whatever, and it, like, lets out, like, a spirit or something like that. It's like, good luck, and the doctor just shuts the door. A dental pelican! Tooth extraction tools used from the 14th century through the late 18th century, when dental keys became more popular. Examples like the French or Italian pelicans consisted of rotating claw mounted on a shaft in an adjustable slot. The tooth would be pinched between the claw and the head of the shaft, then pulled out. This was not always effective, however, and could in fact loosen and damage a neighboring teeth during the process. Seriously, like, they would, like, grab it and they would, like, rip out more teeth with it. Well, we did get the tooth, but we also got 6 other teeth with it. And they're just like, you take that and put that under your pillow for the fairy. You're a lucky, lucky man. The Wilcox Jewett obtunder. Wilcox Jewett obtunder was a futuristic-looking device that used a periodontal syringe for the oral injection of anesthetic substances, usually cocaine. It was a cocaine gun, pretty much, is what it was. Like, it's just like a little drill that goes in your mouth and just injects cocaine in your mouth. It looks like that gun from Men in Black. Doesn't it? It looks just like it. That thing looks fucking sick, though. You look at me right now, and you say that little thing does not look like the fucking throwing star from Cruel. Right there. That's exactly. How do we know that the people who made Cruel were not influenced by the Jewett gun? I couldn't remember any of the other names. Next, we have the finger-rotated dental drill. From the 1870s. This unusual 6-inch long drill, well, it's long.
Huge.
It's really, really long, right? Well above average, probably some of the other drills that we've watched. Do you think you can fit that in his hand? Like, but
that looks bigger than 6 inches.
This is probably bigger than like 6 inches, probably. This unusual 6-inch long drill was attached to a thimble that held in place while the spindle was rotated by the dentist's finger at a rate much slower than other dental drills of the era.
Why?
Well, him doing this, he's just like, how we go in our circles, how we play our games, which use bow action, hand cranks, foot pedals, and ultimately electricity. So they had everything else, but they're just like, I mean, a foot pedal? I mean, how much money do you think I'm making in this service here? My God! Have you seen the photo of this? Jesus Christ! Looks like a goddamn Harry Potter tool is what it looks like, doesn't it? A goat's foot elevator. I like that. Another extraction tool, the goat's foot elevator, whose double-pointed tip resembles a goat's cleft hoof, was used in conjunction with other devices. Its major purpose was to aid in the cleanup of remnants of dental root and tooth fragments, since tools like pelicans frequently failed to remove the entire tooth and root. Stupid, crazy bastards back in the day. Its pointed design allowed it to be inserted into sockets to, quote, elevate dental tissue and other material. Sometimes it was even used to loosen a tooth before extraction. It's like popping the hood. All right, like, all right, you can use your pelican or whatever the fuck else you need to use to take it out. A dental mouth gag. Anyone else hot now? A dental mouth gag? That's what I hope my dentist used on me. That's my key. Used to keep patients' mouth open during procedures. This 16th century gag used wing nuts to open and close the handles and lock them in place. Never mind. No, I'm good, actually. God, just the idea, too. Everything back then is just, I think it is just old as shit, where it's like, just a little more. Dental screw forceps. These unusual American forceps contain an extendable screw that can be held in place by blades to ease burrowing into the tooth's root during extraction, allowing the dentist to simultaneously drill while holding a tooth in place. It's a 2-for-1. Look at that tiny little drill. I don't like that. Some guy had to have made this in his backyard. I just put a little spindle thing at the bottom there, and I'm still able to hold the tooth. Bone chisels. My God, look at those. Unlike modern dentist chisels, which are petite and used largely for cleaning purposes, antique dental chisels were large and used for more as extraction devices, functioning more like traditional chisels to dig into the gum line to remove teeth. I have to do deep tissue gumming, and you're talking about like digging into it, because the thing I'm doing, they have to like to put these like metal squirt guns basically under my gum. So for people who don't know too, I have to get like 6 pain shots. What is it, Novocaine? I don't know what the fuck it is. God damn it, Nick. How about we talk about teeth exploding? A 19th century dentist in Pennsylvania solved 3 cases of exploding teeth in his career. I don't believe you. In 1871, a reverend began experiencing extreme pain from a toothache. The devil. He said, quote, during his agonies, he ran about here and there in the vain endeavor to obtain some respite, at one time boring his head on the ground like an enraged animal, at another poking it under the corner of the fence, and again going to the spring and plunging his head into the bottom of the cold water. All at once a sharp crack, like a pistol shot, bursting his tooth into fragments, gave him instant relief. At this moment, he turned to his wife and said, "Me pain is all gone." He went to bed and slept soundly all that day and most of the succeeding night, after which he was irrational and well. This is like downright mean towards the guy. They're like, he was in extreme pain. He was acting like a goddamn animal, like a Neanderthal. Similarly, in 1871, a woman's tooth exploded, which resulted in a concussion that knocked her out. It was actually a gunshot to the back of the head. They're like, oh my God, your tooth. She's like, yeah. The blast was so loud that she was deafened for a few days afterwards. Before the 1830s, a wide variety of metals were used to fill cavities, including lead, tin, and silver. One hypothesis suspects that mixing two different metals would create an electrochemical cell, essentially turning the mouth into a low voltage battery. The first guy to ever have his tooth pop. You talking about Jim Duracell? He's like, it's fine. It's all fine. It's just Oppenheimer in your mouth.
Now I am become death.
So let's take some time and go into the future, to the present here, and talk about some modern dental practices and trends that are happening right now, because there's a lot of weird stuff going on. Starting, of course, with veneers and crowns. What the hell are veneer and crowns? Jojo Siwa, Joe Biden. These are two examples immediately. They have the same mouth. Veneers are porcelain caps placed on top of the front of the existing tooth, and crowns cover the entire tooth. Your dentist will shave down a bit of the existing enamel, take an imprint of your teeth, then custom make veneers. Thanks to TikTok, getting veneers is becoming a popular trend among all these younger people. Younger people desperately don't realize that it's old person mouth. I'll go ahead and say it, dude. I don't mind a couple crooked teeth. Why not, dude? Who gives it? Gives your mouth more character. Seeing those porcelain white, borderline blue veneers when they're just like, hello, my teeth are perfect. People are drawn to that perfectly aligned, perfectly white porcelain look. Younger people who are quick to jump on the trend without considering the long-term effects of getting and wearing veneers, which these are normal veneers. Well, you know, the bitch's mouth does look like razor wire here, and the veneers do look better, and these are the disadvantages to the veneers that get heavily overlooked. You'll lose at least some of your natural enamel. Many types of veneers aren't reversible, and your teeth may become more sensitive to heat and cold. It's possible for a veneer to fall off or become dislodged, and dental veneers are cosmetic, so they're not covered by most insurances. And you gotta replace them after 10 years. I mean, it's a whole thing, but also look at some of these shavings. My God. I will say the ones with the grooves here, that's metal as f. Like if that makes me like think of like an H.R. Geiger like monster or something like that, or like a Hellraiser monster.
I'm pretty sure I have veneers in my teeth.
How do you not know if you had the veneer surgery, Nick?
It was 9th grade and I had a chipped tooth and he's like,
oh,
it's that. And I was like, okay. And then like he started drilling for like 30 minutes on my teeth.
And you're just like,
and I was like, this is weird. And then he left, and like I felt.
He left?
Well, like to go do something like real quick.
What do you mean? I heard his car keys jostle around, and he left the room and locked the door. Then did you like look at it or something or what?
Well, I put my tongue to my teeth, and then I could feel like half my teeth were gone, my front teeth.
Both of them?
Pretty sure they are.
I will say, for a positive, I would have never guessed. Which leads us to turkey teeth. What are turkey teeth? Turkey teeth is an alarming trend where people travel to Turkey to receive irreversible dental work for crowns. On TikTok, the hashtag turkey teeth has garnered almost 634 million views. The part 2 where you get the tiny teeth, unbelievable. I could never do it. The British nation has showed that you don't have to give a which granted, there are some British teeth out there too. I don't want to get into that, but I'm just saying. If someone's like, oh, I wish my teeth were, to me, character. It's nice. You're human. The else are you supposed to do? Here's a little incident called the Katie Price veneers incident, which Katie Price is a British television personality, turned her back on her nation, dude. She has 1.4 million TikTok followers and over 1 million on Instagram. And in August of 2021, Price visited Turkey for a fully funded trip by a dental clinic in Antalya. During this trip, she underwent a live-streamed dental procedure, leaving Turkey with a set of new ceramic veneers. However, by July of 2023, the narrative took a turn. Katie Price experienced multiple issues with her veneers, including knocking out a tooth during a live stream, and she required another operation, this time from a renowned British dentist, to fix the issue. God, that's gonna be me, Nick. According to a famous London dental surgeon, many patients enticed by Turkey's low prices are traumatized upon return, often unaware of the exact treatment they received. You have vampire teeth as well. It's exactly what it sounds like. Getting your canine teeth modified to be extra pointy and resemble vampire teeth. Dude, cradle of filth. People have been doing this for f***ing forever, dude. You know what I say? Cool. I say good for you, dude. If you have sharp-ass canine teeth, better watch out. You know what you're gonna get me sucking on your neck.
Is that directed towards me or the...
It doesn't matter. We want to get down to the brass tacks, which is the actual real dentist horror stories here, right? What are some things that are actually some of the most f***ed up things that dentists have done? Well, let's dive in. Dr. Kenny posted calls for doing free dental work for people in need, made sexual jokes in the call. Thousands of patients called out. A 27-year-old applied, asked for body pics and illusion for nudes. Dr. Harold Schneider, he tortured children. He choked a child.
So these are all his things. These are all.
No, I know. I'm just. I understand. Yeah, you go through your day, and you know. I mean, I'd never think that I would say choked a child in a day. You know, a child went in for one tooth to be removed. He removed all of her front teeth, all 8 of them that were there. It's not funny, but it's so absurd. It's crazy. Operated on children without anesthesia and strapped them down from head to toe with their jaw cranked open and immobilized. He left children unattended for long periods of time, strapped down, and told them not to tell their parents. We're going to hell, dude. Improperly pulled teeth on a regular basis, singled out Medicaid patients because they were poor and unable to fight back. He claims that everything he did was done in a professional context, or was deemed to potentially be unfit to trial due to mental competence, and committed mass Medicaid fraud, milking Medicaid by billing for and removing teeth that were unneeded. Oh, so he was just scamming the system for money. Would have unnecessary teeth crowned, then have them removed months later. Capped all 14 of boys' teeth. Deaf parents sat through their children screaming for help while he pulled all his front teeth and capped a tooth without removing decay. You know, as soon as his deaf parents came in, he was like, jackpot. Nova Scotia dentist traumatized children for generations. His name was Errol Gaum. He's been licensed since 1971 with a specialization in pediatrics. Kids! Advertised full anesthetic dentistry. Refused to allow guardians in the room. Classic 1970s behavior. That's some like Jimmy Savile type shit. Behind closed doors, he suffocated a child and told her that her mother was dead. Operated on her without any anesthetics, and when a patient came forward, generations of people came forward with similar stories. Spanked children and violently manipulated them. Held his hand over their mouth to suffocate them. 480 of his patients came forward. Slapping faces, leaving bruises, threatened to remove another tooth if they continued to cry, holding a needle to their tongue threateningly, non-consensual removal of teeth, sitting on children to operate on them, jerk teeth out violently in one gesture without Patient complaints were ignored for over 50 years. It wasn't until public accusations went viral did the Nova Scotia Dental Board actually act on this. They held an emergency meeting and suspended his practice. Seems a little late. Well, he can't operate anymore, guys, so this is it. The Dental Board refused all interviews, refused all answers to questions, and charged with 8 counts of assaults dating back to 1970s. That feels so not enough. I'm ending this video. I have to go and get my gums cleaned, and it's a thing. Like I'm so in my head about it. This could not have been a worse idea. I'm gonna flat out say that right now, dude. This could not have been a worse idea to do. So I guess I'm gonna go get my gums cleaned. Bye. Don't forget to check out Scentbird if you want to smell real good. Thanks for watching.